What if I told you that the Bible, that super old and important book, isn't just about God and people, but it also talks about aliens? Yup, you heard me right. Some of the super weird and amazing creatures written about in the Bible might actually be visitors from other planets. Crazy, right? It's a shocking idea, and some grown-ups might say, no way. But stick with us, because later in this video, we're going to show you some really cool proof that might make you think differently. Close your eyes and allow yourself to rest as we explore the forgotten moments that might hold deeper secrets than we realize. This is today's bedtime story. Let's begin. Most people think the Bible only has normal animals or angels with wings. But if you look super close, some of these creatures sound nothing like anything we've ever seen on Earth. They move in strange ways. They have weird shapes, and they seem to have powers we can't even imagine. So get ready to open your mind. We're going on an adventure to look at some of the Bible's strangest stories, and we're going to pretend we're detectives trying to figure out if these amazing beings came from far, far away from another part of space. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay, so get ready for our first super weird Bible creature. It's from a part of the Bible called Ezekiel. And what Ezekiel saw sounds totally wild, like something out of a science fiction movie. He saw these amazing, giant wheels. But these weren't just any wheels you'd see on a bike or a car. Oh no, these wheels were super special. The Bible says they were like a wheel in a wheel. Imagine one big wheel, and then inside it, another wheel was going a different way, like a puzzle. And guess what? These wheels didn't just sit there. They could move anywhere super fast without even turning. It says they went wherever the Spirit would go, like they knew exactly where to go all by themselves. Without a driver, they just zoomed wherever they wanted. And the Bible says these wheels were tall and scary because they had eyes all around them. Not just one or two, but all around the edges. Can you imagine a wheel with eyes? That's definitely not normal. So think about it. Super fast wheels that move on their own, a wheel inside a wheel, and eyes all over them. Does that sound like a normal chariot or wagon that people used long ago? Or does it sound more like some kind of amazing, super smart machine that came from somewhere else? Something not from Earth? That's what we're wondering. All right, are you ready for more strange stuff from the Bible? Right after Ezekiel saw those super spinning wheels, he saw some amazing creatures standing next to them. And these creatures were super, super weird. The Bible says there were 4 of them. Each one had a body that looked a bit like a person's, but then things got really wild. Each of these 4 creatures had 4 different faces. Imagine having a face of a person, then a face of a lion, then a face of a strong ox, and then a face of an eagle, all on one head. That's a lot of faces to keep track of. And it gets even crazier. Each of these creatures had 4 wings, not just 2 like a bird, but 4. And they used 2 of their wings to cover their bodies and 2 to fly. The Bible also says their legs were straight like a post, but their feet were like the hoof of a calf, like a baby cow. And they shone like really bright, shiny metal, like bronze that's been polished super clean. And when they moved, they didn't turn around. They just went straight ahead, no matter which way they wanted to go. Like they could just glide wherever they needed to be. So think about it. Creatures with 4 different faces, 4 wings, strange feet, and shining like metal, moving without turning. Does that sound like a normal animal from Earth? Or even a regular angel? Or does it sound more like some kind of amazing living robot or a special creature designed to do a certain job? Maybe from a very advanced place far away? It's pretty mind-boggling, isn't it? Okay, get ready for another super strange being from the Bible. This one is from a different part, called Isaiah. And what Isaiah saw sounds really, really hot and bright. He saw these special angels called seraphim. And the first thing you'd notice about them is that they were surrounded by fire, or they glowed like fire. Imagine something so bright and hot you could barely look at it. But the coolest or hottest part about them was their wings. Each seraph had 6 wings. Not just 2 or 4, but 6. That's a lot of wings. And what did they do with all those wings? Well, the Bible says they used 2 of their wings to cover their faces. Maybe they were too bright to look at. Or maybe they were covering their faces because they were in a super holy place. Ben, they used 2 more wings to cover their feet. And the last 2 wings, those were the ones they used to fly. And guess what? When they moved, their voices were super loud, like booming thunder, and the whole place shook. It was a really powerful and amazing sight. So think about it. Fiery beings with 6 wings, so bright you can barely see them, and voices that shake the ground. Does that sound like a regular angel we hear about in stories? Or does it sound like a superpowered being, maybe made of pure energy, or a really advanced creature that's so powerful it blows and shakes everything around it? It's a mystery that makes you think. There are special guards called cherubim mentioned in the Bible. You might have heard of them, but they are way stranger than you think. The very first time we hear about them is at the beginning of the Bible, in the Garden of Eden. After Adam and Eve had to leave the garden, God put cherubim there to guard the way back to a special tree. So right away, we know they're super important guardians. But wait, there's more. Later, another part of the Bible, also in Ezekiel, like our spinning wheels, describes them in a super wild way. Just like those other creatures we talked about, these cherubim also had 4 faces. One face was like a person, another like a lion, another like an ox, and one more like an eagle. So many faces. And here's the really, really strange part. The Bible says that these cherubim and even their wheels were covered with eyes. Not just a few eyes, but eyes all over them. Imagine looking at a creature or a wheel and seeing eyes everywhere you looked. That's pretty spooky and amazing, right? They also had wings, and when they moved, the sound was like thunder, or like the sound of a big army marching. Super loud and powerful. So think about it. Creatures that guard special places with 4 different faces, and eyes all over their bodies and even on their wheels. Does that sound like a normal guard dog or even a typical angel? Or does it sound more like a highly advanced robot or a special kind of living security system designed to protect really important secrets or places? It makes you wonder who would build such amazing guards. Okay, get ready for a super curious story from the very beginning of the Bible. This one talks about strange, giant people called the Nephilim. The Bible says that long, long ago, before the big flood, something very unusual happened. It talks about sons of God who saw that the daughters of men, that's just what they called women back then, were pretty. And then these sons of God married them. And guess what happened next? When these sons of God had kids with the daughters of men, those kids became the Nephilim. The Bible calls them mighty men who were of old, men of renown. But other parts of the Bible say they were super, super tall, like giants. Imagine someone as tall as 2 or 3 regular grown-ups stacked on top of each other. Now, here's the big question. Who were these sons of God? Were they just regular people? Some people think so. But what if they weren't? What if these sons of God were actually beings from another place? like aliens. If these sons of God were aliens, then the Nephilim would be half alien, half human. Think about it. Super tall, super strong, and maybe even super smart. The Bible talks about the glory of the Lord appearing many times, especially to people like Moses and Ezekiel. When it shows up, it's never just quiet and normal. Oh no, it's often described with lots of bright light, like a super bright fire. Sometimes it comes with big, thick clouds. And sometimes there's a loud noise, like a rushing wind or even thunder. Imagine seeing something so bright it hurts your eyes, inside a cloud with a loud noise all around it. That's what people saw. For example, when Moses went up a mountain to talk to God, the glory of the Lord came down like a burning fire on top of the mountain, covered by a cloud, and the whole mountain shook. So here's the big question for our alien idea. What if the glory of the Lord isn't just a feeling or a bright light in the sky? What if it's actually something physical? What if it's like a super advanced spaceship that glows really brightly, or a powerful energy field that amazing beings use to travel or show themselves? If beings from other planets came here, they might use super bright ships or pure energy that looks like fire and clouds to us, because we wouldn't understand what it really was. It makes you wonder if those ancient people were actually seeing a very advanced alien craft or a powerful alien showing its true, mind-blowing form. It's a totally different way to think about those amazing Bible stories. Remember when the people of Israel were leaving Egypt a long, long time ago? The Bible says that God guided them in a super special way. During the day, there was a huge pillar of cloud that led them. It floated in the sky and showed them where to go. And guess what? At night, that same cloud turned into a pillar of fire to give them light. Think about that for a second. A giant column of cloud by day that glows like fire at night, moving and guiding thousands of people across a huge desert. Does that sound like a normal cloud or a regular campfire? Not really. The Bible also tells other stories where strange lights or clouds appear in the sky, sometimes with loud noises or shaking. People didn't have airplanes or rockets back then, so anything flying or glowing would have been a huge mystery. So here's our alien thought. What if these pillars weren't just magical weather? What if they were actually super advanced flying machines like alien spaceships, using different kinds of energy that looked like cloud and fire to the people of that time? Imagine you lived thousands of years ago and saw a giant glowing craft in the sky leading you. You wouldn't have a word for spaceship, so you might call it a pillar of cloud or pillar of fire because that's what it looked like to you. It's a fun way to imagine how people long ago might have described amazing alien visitors without knowing what they really were. What do all these strange Bible stories have in common if we think about aliens? First, they all describe things that don't look like anything on Earth. They have too many wings, too many faces, eyes everywhere, or they're made of fire and light. It's like they're from a different planet with different kinds of life. Second, these creatures and skylights seem to have amazing powers and super smart technology. They can fly without turning, they glow, they shake the ground, and they seem to know exactly where to go. This sounds a lot like what we imagine super advanced alien spaceships or super-powered alien beings might be like. Think about it. If you saw a super fast car or an airplane thousands of years ago, you wouldn't know what it was. You might describe it as a fiery chariot or a bird made of metal. It's the same idea. The people writing the Bible were trying to describe amazing things they saw, but they didn't have words like spaceship or robot. So when we look at these stories, it's like the Bible is giving us clues about visitors from other worlds. It's telling us about advanced technology and amazing beings that were so different. people had to use the only words they knew to describe them. It's pretty cool to think that maybe, just maybe, some of these ancient stories are actually secret reports of alien encounters. When we think about these Bible stories as possibly being about aliens or alien technology, it doesn't mean we stop believing in the Bible. Not at all. It just means we're looking at these very old and special stories in a brand new way, with new eyes. It's a really fun and exciting way to think about history and mystery. What do you think after hearing all these clues? Do you think the Bible might have some secret alien stories hidden inside? You're awesome for watching. Don't forget to watch the next video showing up on your screen.